today I got to talk to Reggie Bush about OU, USC, and other things, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time, and today had a really good time talking with Reggie Bush on my show, the RJ Young Show, on the Sports Animal in Tulsa, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. weekdays. I was so excited. I was like, "Hey, yo, Reggie!" And Reggie came over and he took a seat, and my man is still cock diesel. Like, he's still a very, very strong man. And while the joke can be made that I should have asked him about Kim Kardashian, I'm not going to ask him about Kim Kardashian because really I wanted to ask the man about USC and football, because football is what we are here to do. Football is what's most important in. And off top, you'll see how it went. Reggie's going to be Fox College football analyst after spending some years at NFL Network. We get into that. We also get into his thinking about what Alex Grinch brings to Oklahoma and what Oklahoma has to do to try to reach the height that he did while he was at USC, and Pete Carroll was his coach. Told this really great recruiting story about Ed Orgeron coming into his house. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's get to it. All right, that is it for me. Doses. Reggie Bush is here with us now. I would give you much more of an introduction, but I feel like if they listen to Sports Talk Radio, they know who you are. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm getting there. I got to get it out of the way.
Okay.
You pile drove my Oklahoma Sooners 55-19.
Don't hold it against me, man. Don't hold it against me.
Look, do you feel like you need to apologize?
I just would like Oklahoma Sooners fans, players and coaches to know that I am on their side this year. I have picked them to win the Big 12 championship this year, and I think they're going to play great, man. I'm really looking forward to a big season. I actually got a chance to talk and chop it up with Coach Lincoln Riley. Got a chance to talk with C.D. Lamb, some guys I have a lot of respect for. And I'm really excited about the program this year. I think bringing Alex Grinch over is going to be a big, big asset for him. Kind of changing the culture, right, the mentality on the defense side of football. I was actually talking with some of the players yesterday. I told them, I said, anytime we won championships, it was because of the defense. The offense put up points, but the defense won us the games.
Well, and I want to speak to that for a bit, because you were part of a dynastic run at USC, and Oklahoma has felt like it's on the verge of doing something like that, as it's watched Alabama put together one of the best runs in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
What are the little things that you would like to see Oklahoma do to get past just winning Big 12 championships, making the college football playoff, winning a game or two?
Well, I think, listen, if you improve the defense, right, I think they have a really good shot at playing in the playoffs and winning. Winning the national championship. So I think bringing Alex Grinch over and him preaching getting the football back, right, the turnover mentality, the being aggressive mentality. That's what I know, right? That's what I know to be successful. That was the recipe for success for us when I was at USC. When I was in New Orleans, when we won a Super Bowl, we got turnovers back. The defense got extra possessions back to the offense. And think about it. If you give Oklahoma offense extra possessions, that's only going to turn into points, right? Lincoln Riley is a mastermind. He is now considered the quarterback whisperer, right? Because he's coached 2 back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners, and rightfully so, because he's coached 2 great players, right? And so I think Jalen Hurts is a different dynamic than both those guys, but I think he's very polished, though, right? You're getting a very, very polished veteran quarterback, which you have to be excited about, right? Because you don't get that all the time, right? And so. But it's very interesting to see the dynamic, right? Because this whole transfer portal to me thing feels like free agency, right? for players, and I like it, because I like the fact that guys are getting a chance to go and play somewhere else if maybe they're not getting the proper looks or the opportunity to play where they thought they were going to be playing.
Well, and now that we're on the subject, right? We've seen guys at your alma mater. A couple of guys, Chris Steele at cornerback, 5-star cornerback. Brew McCoy had been committed to a team in the conference, Texas. Right. Yeah. How do you feel about those situations in particular? Because I don't think those situations are going to be anomalies. I think we're going to see more of those.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more of those as well. And again, like I said, it feels like free agency to me, like the NFL free agency. So, I think it makes the game that much more exciting, but it also puts a lot more pressure on the coaching staff, because when I was playing a game, we were 4 or 5 guys deep at every position, and our third stream could go out and probably beat a lot of teams for us, right? And so now that dynamic has changed, where guys are not sitting and waiting anymore, and they're moving on, and so that puts pressure on the coaching staff to have to succeed, with those first or second stream guys, right?
I want to throw this to the producer Patrick back in studio because I know he's got a question that he wants to ask you. Patrick, what you got?
Well, not so much a question. And look, I'm a Detroit Lions fan, and I appreciate a former Detroit Lion.
Yes,
the wins didn't come the way we would want, but
they did not.
But I remember some good times.
Yeah. No, I had a great time down in Detroit. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed my time there. We lived in Birmingham, which is a great little town. That your money goes a long way in Detroit. Let's just say that. I live in LA right now. Your money goes a long way in Detroit, man. And that's one of the things that we appreciate about the people, about just the community there. Just that, some of the best people that you ever meet, some of the most diehard fans you'll ever meet. And everybody there just treated us, with respect and just with class.
See that, Patrick? Reggie had some nice things to say about you. He's a native Michiganer.
Not a lot of people do, so that's good.
Well, getting back to the conference and what you've seen since just walking by here, talking to guys like Lincoln, talking to guys like CD, what is the thing that stands out to you about how folks are presenting their side of, hey, this is why we're going to be good?
Wow. Well, going back to University of Oklahoma, I think just the dynamic of, again, just bringing in Alex Grinch, bringing in a guy like that, a defensive-minded coordinator who was going to preach the turnover mentality, right?
He's also barking at you.
Right? He's a no-nonsense guy, right? Which can only help, right? And, some of the best coaches that I've played for are no-nonsense guys, right? Guys
Examples.
That understand. Let's see. Well, Pete Carroll's a no-nonsense guy. I know he kind of seems very, charismatic and fun and happy-go-lucky kind of guy, which he is, but he's still a no-nonsense guy, right? Like at the NFL level, playing for Coach Sean Payton is a no-nonsense guy, right? And so you need that, right? Because it is tough to coach so many different personalities, and that's why I think football is the ultimate team sport, because you got a lot of different guys on one football team that a lot of different personalities, a lot of different backgrounds, stories, where they came from, where they grew up, and you got to get all these guys on one page, right? Everybody has to be on one page, on one line, and that's tough to do. And that's why football is the ultimate team sport, because it only takes one guy to mess it up, right? But it takes 11 guys to make a play work.
We're talking with Reggie Bush, Fox College football analyst. You're going to be doing your first season in studio?
First season in studio.
Why you want to do this? Why you want to get into what we're doing?
Well, I had the opportunity to, be a part of, for one, the Fox family, which I've been. We have a long relationship going back to when I was in college, and me and Matt would come on the Best Damn Sports Show. I don't know if you remember Best Damn Sports Show.
Yeah, I do.
Strahan and
Sally was my guy.
John Sally and all those guys. So we had such a good time, and so our relationship goes way, way back. And so when they approached me with the opportunity to be on this new show in studio, having a chance to be home more. I was with NFL Network the last 2.5, 3 years, and I was on the road a lot. And, that put a lot of pressure on me and my family. And so, football season was a little tough, and I was traveling East Coast every weekend, East Coast, back and forth, East Coast every weekend. So now I'm home, right? And now I have a chance to not only be home with my family, but also have a chance to be part of something special with Fox.
Brother, let's go. I got to give me one good story coming out of your recruiting experience, because your recruiting is one of those that is legendary because of what you were doing out of the state of California.
Yeah. Okay, so I was recruited by a lot of different universities, and USC was actually not one of my 5 choices. So a lot of people don't know this, they were not. So it was Texas. It was, I think, Notre Dame, Stanford, Washington, maybe Oregon, maybe Nebraska. I'm not sure. I took a lot of hits since then. But so I remember, Coach Carroll and Coach Carroll, Coach Kennedy Pola, Coach Orgeron.
Okay, all right.
Coach Orgeron coming down, and Coach Orgeron was probably the first person that I met, and I was like, why is he so intense? Like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, he is way too intense right now. And so Coach O, I love him to death. One of my favorite coaches of all time. They recruited me, and they recruited me heavily, and I was like, Coach, I already have all my 5 visits picked out. And he said, well, maybe there's something we can work out. Maybe there's a special day we can put together where we bring you in. And I was like, I know I only get 5. So long story short, they make a special day for me and Andre Caldwell. And it's just me and him on a recruiting trip. We go to USC. I think most of the players were off, so it was only a handful of guys there. And they were on vacation. And we go there, and I love it. I love everything about it. And I leave with the feeling that this is it. And so I took one recruiting trip to University of Washington. I hated it. It was raining. It was cold. Went to USC and loved it and committed. That was it. I didn't even take the rest of my trips.
Rain versus sunshine.
Rain versus sunshine. And I was from San Diego, so it was only 2-hour drive from my family.
Right,
so I figured, like, I have also an extended, my other side of my family, my dad, my grandmother, my aunt, my uncles, they all live in LA as well. So it just felt right. The decision felt right in my gut. And obviously now looking back on it, it was the right choice.
Man, thank you for
Yes,
that.
sir.
Reggie Bush, Fox College
Yes,
football
sir.
analyst. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure that everybody's going to give you some shade, but not as much after you picked Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Thank you for your
I
time,
appreciate
sir.
it, man. Thank
Very
you.
cool.
All right.